I just fixed my favorite Aston Villa kit. It used to look like this, and now it looks like this. Here's how I did it. Has one of your football shirts ever looked like this, and you don't know what to do with it? Well, today, we're going to fix that. What's up, Footy Fam? I'm Grimse. Just want to say thanks to everyone who's been watching my long-form videos lately. My next project is fixing my favorite Aston Villa shirt. This is from the promotion season 2018-19, the fabulous Luke Roper kit. It has so many memories, and I haven't been able to wear it for years. As you can see, the sponsor started melting and getting really sticky. I think it was because my apartment was too humid. Now it's finally time to do something about it. Before we get going, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell to turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any of my kit videos or any other videos. All right, now let's go to the workshop and remove this sponsor. We made it outside to the workshop. Now let's proceed. Before you undertake any project, it's best to be prepared. Here's what type of materials we need today. Obviously, you can see that I'm not at my usual setup. That's because we're using a chemical that I don't want to use inside. Don't want to be inhaling it, releasing it indoors, anything, whatever. This is VLR Vinyl Liftoff Remover. This is what's gonna take this old vinyl off of this shirt. This old 32 red sponsor, or at least what's left of it, is gonna be gone very soon. Gloves, we wanna stay protected. I don't want any of this on my hands or other parts of my skin. Same goes for eye protection or a mask if you're extra sensitive to chemicals. I'm not using one today though. Seen a lot of people using these little cotton pads. Gonna use these a little bit and might use this old rag. Just have it on hand in case things get a little bit messy. And of course, a good workspace, a flat surface. Just want to keep everything contained. And then obviously a football shirt. Now it's time to begin the process. This is actually my first time using VLR, so I'm gonna read the instructions. Unscrew the cap, puncture center of plastic seal. All right, so you've got to make a puncture hole in this. Probably going to use a sharper tool, but oops. Got a good sized hole now. And we're going to need to put the cap back on. Let's get the shirt out of the bag. Like I said, it's been in here for years, so it's going to be stuck to the front. Yeah, there's a lot sticking to the bag, which maybe will make my job easier, but I've got to be very careful. Yeah, so as you can see, this is spreading all over the shirt, and I don't want to remove any more than I have to. We've got it inside out. Here's the inside. You can see that 32 red. I don't want it to get onto the back of that shirt. Maybe I'll just put this little paper back down. But yeah, this VLR, this will remove a name, number, sponsor, anything as long as it's vinyl. We'll get rid of it. You don't want to do it on the outside of the shirt. You want to apply it inside out. Otherwise, if you apply it directly on top of the sponsor, it will melt it into the shirt and the damage could be irreversible. All right, let's start off and apply some. Okay, we're just gonna get a couple of drops here. And yeah, we don't need a massive amount, but gotta get enough to remove this sponsor. Yeah, I can already smell a lot of chemical coming out of here, so just wanna make sure I'm not inhaling too much of it. So after that's on, I'm gonna let it sit for about 30 seconds. Then we're gonna try to peel it apart and see if it just pops that right off. All right, so we can see still plenty of residue there, a little bit of chemical there. And it says to just peel the fabric kind of apart from itself, and it should just come off, but I'm not sure. This is a pretty severe instance of damage. So I'm gonna try to rub some more on with this. Maybe this cotton round applying some pressure will be able to push it out. Can definitely see some staining on the inside of here from both the black. So I'm hoping that it's coming out. Yeah, it's already really pushing it through onto this wax paper. Again, that's why I was saying I don't want to just fold it onto the inside of the shirt. You know, I didn't expect it to be easy, but now I can see why I was procrastinating this for so long. How about we check the inside? It's really starting to make a big mess in there and kind of getting all over the shirt. Filthy. All right, so yeah, as you can see, it's getting really messy pretty much all over that area, and with most of the white vinyl gone, it's kind of just the glue residue, I think. So I'm gonna actually dab the front side of it and try to peel it off from the front. Oh, it's working. It's working, but this is just a really messy job. This might be the case of having to apply a new sponsor right on top of it. I was thinking about leaving it blank, but it's honestly such a mess that the best way to cover it may just be putting the same thing up on top of it. But you can start to see the claret underneath the sponsor, so that's a promising sign. And it's obviously going to be soaking through to the back of the shirt too, so if you have any details on the back of your shirt, you're going to want to be really careful. Probably put something in between to soak it up and make sure it's not transferring over. We are having success removing some of the other splotches that have spread pretty much all over this thing. So I don't know what's the best method for preventing it leaking onto the back of the shirt. Maybe a towel or something you don't like in between. We got this open and I have been applying it, been scraping all of it. Somehow my video feed dropped, so we missed some of that, but as you can see, a lot of the white is now gone. It's just this black residue that's been even leaking through to the other side, but we're starting to see some of the claret through underneath the sponsor logo. And you're just gonna keep applying it and trying to remove it. I think what I was saying was I was thinking about just removing the sponsor entirely and leaving it blank, but it's so destroyed that my best option might be to replace the 32 red again just to cover up this huge mess. But this is like starting to come off right there. You just see the white kind of bleeds over. That's why you don't want to do it from the front. We've got a lot of VLR soaked in. I can already see soaking through to the back side of the shirt and possibly even changing the color of the back side of the shirt. We can see that some bit of the backing of the vinyl is being removed. We can see some of the claret through on the front of the shirt. Ultimately, I think this is going to be something I have to return to and come for a second application. Well, with all this on here, we're just going to let it dry, come back, and hopefully we can fix it next time. So one cycle through, I decided to wash it again. I was kind of worried about how much residue was being left on the shirt. And it looks like a lot of it has been removed from the shirt. It kind of looks like only the outline of the vinyl. So I don't think this is actually too bad. I think it might be salvageable. I'm gonna keep bathing this thing and then gonna give it probably another VLR treatment in the coming days, and we'll see. We are back for round 2. My initial repair was a little imperfect, but we're not done here. It's a few weeks later, and in between, I've washed the shirt a couple of times. You can see some of the staining from the front of the shirt has gone away. Other parts of the staining have transferred to the back of the shirt right here. That's happened due to the chemicals used. It's a very strong chemical, so when it combines with this decaying printing, it kind of washes it through to the back of the shirt, unfortunately, so we're gonna get that out. It's not too bad. I probably would wear it in this condition. It's not amazing, as you can obviously see. But it's not horrible. But it did get contaminated, and that's why I'm going to scrub it away. Gonna do things slightly differently this time. You see I have these wood blocks. I'm actually gonna put them in the middle of the shirt, in between, to prevent some of that spread of the contamination. Let's lay that out. Just wanna get a good scrubbing surface. Maybe even could have used another one, but as you can see, I've got this laid out so it's kind of flush, and we've got a consistent surface to really be able to attack this staining. We got more VLR, got a few more paper towels, got a few of these cotton scrubbing pads, some serious gloves. Obviously anything made with a polymer, as we saw last time, is going to just melt, so I don't want the gloves melting through my hands onto my fingers. These are a little tight, but they'll have to do. get some VLR on there, let it just start sitting and soaking onto these letters. You can already see that it's coming on and starting to wash away some of that residue. You can see some of the black coming out. I think the washing process in between definitely took a lot of the staining around the letters out. And so now I'm just trying to get the main part of the vinyl off. Stuff is actually coming out. I'm pretty encouraged by it. Yeah, I think I could have another cleaning day where I've got to clean up a little bit of the stuff around the sides and then also clean up the back and what got there. So yeah, this is a very, very long and tedious process, as you can tell. I think I would say my goal here today is just to erode as much of this vinyl as possible. 10 minutes for one letter, 10 minutes. It's gonna be a long video to represent a very long process. All right, it's really coming out of that E. I'm kind of peeling it off the R. Not sure how visible that is, but I'm liking it. Maybe it's good to just let some soak on while you do the other letter, and then by the time you move on, there's a little bit of this chemical helper already saturating. And so really, what are my options, right? This shirt obviously has a lot of stainage there. What's my options? I thought about originally just leaving the sponsor blank, like the kids version of the shirt didn't have 32 red on the front. So I thought about doing that because a plain shirt is kind of cool, but it might be so dirty that it would look better if it just had the original sponsor. So that's another consideration, and obviously I can just print one back on, but I'm kind of waiting to see how it's going to turn out before I decide what's happening next. And what can you do to prevent this from happening? Because obviously you never want to have to spend this much time fixing your shirt. You don't want your shirt to be in this condition when you even need to fix it. So I can't say I fully determined the root of the problem, but I think it came from excess humidity. So try to keep your kits somewhere that's not super humid if possible. And if you do have a shirt like this and you're out there saying, well, I don't want to do it, but is there someone who can fix it for me? Well, I think seeing how labor intensive this is made me kind of realize why there's not a lot of businesses who fix these shirts, because not every shirt is gonna have the same steps to fix it. And yeah, you don't know how much how long it could take. So it's not just like buying a shirt. You can see my towel. I think it's getting a little bit pink from some of the red dye leaching out of the shirt. Obviously you can't keep doing this forever, and as I'm not a scientist, but these shirts are made out of polyester, and that's ultimately from plastic and oil, so this really erodes the same kind of stuff. So I have a theory that if you keep doing this too long, you probably will erode a hole into your shirt. So definitely can't just keep doing this all day. I think though right now I would say my goal is just to get this shirt back into wearable condition. That would be great. It's my favorite Villa shirt, my lucky shirt. Haven't worn it for a couple years, so I don't know, we're good now. Maybe there's more to it than the luck of the shirt, but I want to wear it again anyway. Loading up this R. Get back on the E. It's kind of the R and the E that have got most of the black residue. And yeah, you can see it. You can see it just peeling away right there. That's what we want. And the reason I put those wood blocks in is because last time I didn't, and I think some of this residue was going through to the other side of the shirt. And I don't want to keep doing this for the rest of my life. As fun as it is, I'm having a great time, but as fun as it is, never really want to do it again. It's got a bunch down there. Get on there. Get on there. Might just be my bias, but it seems like I'm making more progress going at it side to side than top to bottom. Yeah, it's going off like that. Let's stretch, maybe stretch the shirt a little bit. Because with this VLR, you're supposed to be able to just pull the shirt apart and the lettering should pop right off if you put enough of this chemical on it. However, the damage is so severe, and that's why we're still here. You can maybe see this towel getting a little pink.
Approximately 10 hours later.
At this rate, I think it would be doable to just apply 32 red on top. Obviously, we can see a little bit of black staining. Like, let's see if we can get it out now, or if we have to come back. And I think this is maybe what the little cotton swabs for. You kind of wet it, but you can see obviously some of that black staining did make its way out. Did make its way out of the shirt. This R still got some rough corners around the edges. I think by getting some more in here, pulling the shirt apart lets this chemical really work its way in. Yeah, you can see just that. A little piece left. You know, I think some of the black residue will come out. I think it works. It just, you're gonna really have to chemical this thing up and goop it up and be very careful. And you're probably sitting at home thinking, Jack, why don't you just buy another shirt? Well, we only had this specific kit maker, Luke Roper, for one season. And there weren't very many of these shirts made or sold, which means even less of them exist today. Even fewer that exist, people don't want to sell them. This is one of everyone's favorite Villa shirts. So, not a whole lot available. Some of them, same thing happened to those shirts as what happened to mine. They're not in amazing condition. So that means even few of them are around. And as a result, that means they're quite expensive. I've seen some $200, $300 quite easily. One more letter. Yeah, I should have tried this before. The more I can spread it, the more this paper towel just kind of buffs that out. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to tell at the time how much of this black residue we're kind of transferring. So I'm certain there's got to be some there, but I can see it more up here. Maybe just work my way through a little bit of cleanup. Obviously there's still gonna be a few imperfections. This shirt was in a catastrophic condition. Session number 2 is a wrap. Blocks. Left a little bit of sawdust inside the shirt. How do we think this looks? The back is still a little bit destroyed. I didn't even attempt to remove any of the chemical staining from session number 1, but here's our progress after session number 2, and you know, I think I'm pretty happy with this so far. It might not be in the most wearable condition, but it's pretty close. I obviously have to see how this dries. Like I said, you can't necessarily tell how everything looks with the chemical until it dries. That's why I didn't notice all of this stuff on the back. Otherwise, I probably would have taken it off the first time. But you know, it's getting quite close. So I'm gonna give this another wash, and then maybe if anything, come out and do a little touch-ups. I didn't use any of the cotton pads today, but I may need to do a couple of touch-ups just to remove what was extra residue that was kind of left around the top that I don't want to smear any further in. But yeah, I feel so much better about this today than after the first repair session. We're getting really close. I almost have my favorite Villa shirt back. The shirt has been drying for a couple of hours, and I'm gonna wash it off again in the sink. Hopefully some of this residue will wash away and we'll be left with a pretty clean shirt. Just gonna turn it inside out first. And not too bad. Okay, let me move it around. Okay, that's good. We are back, hopefully the last time I have to work on the shirt in this outdoor environment. As you can see, we're getting pretty close. There's not a whole lot of residue left. Honestly, I think it's okay for the most part. I just want to get it a little bit better before I wear it again. But I will say, I think it's pretty good. Honestly, I wasn't sure I would ever wear this shirt again, so I'm pretty happy with it, even the condition that it's in. Final round of the VLR, got some of these pads so I can dab away the black residue that you can see around the former 32 red lettering. Gonna put in my blocks again and then go ahead and move the camera to give you a better view of how I finish this process. Gloves on, blocks inside the shirt to protect it. And here we go. So I'm applying it directly onto these pads this time, just to try to not get as much onto the shirt. See, the black is coming out right there. It's quite a lot right here. Just kind of looks like a messy sweat stain. The damage was pretty severe, so I'm not sure how much more we're even going to be able to take out. I think it's even taking more of the red out of the shirt than I maybe want. You know, at this point, get my blocks out, get my shirt. back into the interview. I think that's about all I can do of this. We've done another round of cleaning with these little pads, and probably I've used about 2/3 of this bottle of VLR on this single shirt. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Still gotta wash it one more time, and then we'll do the final reveal. We're back inside. How do things look? I'm still not sure if I'm gonna replace the sponsor and reapply this 32 red print or keep it blank. The kids version of this shirt had no sponsor because 32 Red is a betting company. That's one reason I'm thinking about leaving it blank. Honestly, I was hoping it might pull off a little bit cleaner than this, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So now that the chemicals have dried and I've washed the shirt, it's time for the real test. Let's try it on. What do you think? Honestly, it feels amazing. About a year ago, I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to wear the shirt again due to the damage. And maybe it's the fact that I fixed it and put, I don't know, 10 hours of hard labor into it, but it just feels great. This kit has always felt good. Like I said, it's my favorite Villa shirt of all time, at least in my collection. And a lot of that has to do with how it feels. So even after the extensive repair, it feels great. Yes, you can obviously see a little bit of the damage and the leftover residue. I'm gonna check how it looks on the film, but I don't think I'm gonna do another round of it just because I wanna make other videos. Even if it ends up in this condition, I'm still gonna consider it a success. Just look at the before and after photos. What a transformation. Very satisfying way to fix my favorite Aston Villa shirt. Now let's get this back into the closet. Got the shirt, got a hanger, got a spot over here for it. I couldn't even add this shirt to my brand new rack when I built it and fitted it out with all the other kits. Honestly, made me a little sad, so it's very satisfying to be able to add the shirt back into my collection where it belongs. So let's pick out a spot. I think probably at the end of the Villa section. Gets a little convoluted over here with the green, but you know, I think that's a great spot for it. Obviously gonna wear it many times now that it's back into the rotation. Very happy with things and how it all turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have a shirt that's damaged or peeling or has sticky printing, I hope you found it helpful. Maybe you can get some professional help. Maybe you want to do it yourself. If it's inspired you to go take on that challenge, I'm very happy. Let me know how it's going in the comments. Really want to see your progress if you're fixing your shirts or if you're just starting a football shirt collection. I've got a lot of other videos on the way, so stay tuned. If you watched this video all the way through, you are a legend. Thank you so much. I've got more football shirt content on the way for you, so stay tuned. And if there's any other specific topics or challenges about football shirt collecting, let me know and I'll try to make a video about that. Thank you, Footy Fam. A special thanks to the VIPs and Ultras who are paid subscribers on the Footy Fam Patreon. This video wouldn't be possible without your support. If you want to see your name in the credits and get other awesome perks like BTS content and more, make sure to subscribe via the link in the description.